Welcome to our podcast designed for psychologists, therapists, and counsellors who want to take their business online and live a soul-nourished and profitable life without compromise. If you want to know the secrets used by practitioners just like you to navigate the global e-learning market successfully, then you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Tilean, chartered psychologist, business mentor, and your host, and welcome to the Abundant Practitioner Podcast. How you can flow into action, right? And what I really want to share with you is the 10 crucial steps. And I've been sitting down thinking, like, if I could just condense it into 10 things that I was going to share with you that took me from struggling, right? That took me from struggling to not even knowing how am I going to get here with what I see in my vision. Just my vision in my head, guys. I just had my vision it was just a little vision. I didn't even know, right? Yeah. I just knew I needed to help people and create this business, right? I had no idea how. And I've been able to create a business, right? Yeah. And glory to God, I will say that, all right? A business that it operates a 6-figure annual business. The profit margin is 48%, right? All while being now in my life, right? The mom I always dreamed of being. Yeah. Like literally. And so I share this not to gloat or to be boastful, but to share this as a way to inspire, to tell you from 10 years ago where I was to where I am, that it hasn't been without challenge. And it won't be without challenge for you too. I will share that. And I really 100% believe that. And I know many people are not sharing that the challenge will be part of the part of it. And embrace it. Yeah, embrace it. Because I believe in God, many of you know, right? But that God has great things in store for you. He has great things in store for all of us, right? Yeah. And so really recognize it, though, that challenge is going to be part of it. You know, one of the scriptures for me that really kind of helped is Psalms 23 as I was going through, you know, right? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I will not fear, right? That took a process though, guys. That didn't just start in year one. Yeah. And I often have to remind myself of whenever things feel shaky, they might just be shaking off what doesn't need to be there, right? Or something great is happening within that. So here are the 10 things I want to share with you, and then we'll have a bit of a discussion about this, okay? All right. Again, helpful so far. Before I get into the 10 steps, helpful so far, let me know in the chat. Is this helpful? I know some of you have come in throughout this discussion, very different discussion than the trainings we've had in previous weeks, all right? But is this helpful? Yeah? Thank you, Rachel. Let us know, okay? All right, I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you guys, all right? So, 10 things, right? What are the 10 things that I would say have been absolutely of vital importance that I would recommend be vital importance for you too, right? Number 1 is plan A energy. Plan A energy, right? Making the decision to be committed with super intention about what I'm creating, right? And be committed without a kind of fallback plan, right? Without oh, hopefully this might maybe one day work, right? You know, I see so many people try with their business because they have that attitude that hopefully maybe one day this will work, as opposed to an attitude of this has to work or it has to work. This is exactly what I'm called to do. Like, how's this coming forward now? I don't know if that for me was, and I'm not recommending this for everybody, but I don't know, for me, it was because I was in this place of where I'd left my job. Right? And so, you know, yes, it was a £37,000 a year salary that I was on that I'd left, right? But 37 to zero is quite a drop, right? Yeah. And so I needed to make money. I needed to live, to survive, right? And so I was in this space of like, wow, well, something's got to come through this, and I'm going to give this my full dedication, right? I'm not going to like go into this with the expectation that it's going to fall or fail. I'm going to go into this with the expectation that this is going to work. And so I'm also going to set myself up for success with guidance and support from somebody that I could act as an advisory, right? That had been in business, right? And so I hired a coach, right? I hired a business coach that could act as an advisor, that I could say, okay, this is what I'm working on. This is what I've done. This is what I put together. What's your perspective? What am I missing? What am I not seeing that I've seen? I didn't hire them because I wanted them to do it. I didn't hire them because I wanted them to figure it out for me, or because I was doing it the way they particularly had done their business step by step every single way. I hired them so I could ask them questions every single week and ask them and show them, this is what I've done. I would send things to them. This is what I've done. Can you give me your eye? Can you give me your perspective? Can you tell me what I'm missing here? How could I do this better? How could I get better? Right? Because I embraced the stages of learning, the stages of competency. I didn't become a psychologist overnight. It took me 10 years. What happened in that 10 years? We go through the 4 stages of competence to do anything. To learn to drive a car, you go through the 4 stages of competence, right? Being unconsciously competent, right? Yeah, like just ignorance. How hard could it be to build a business? How hard could it be to drive a car? Yeah. To then being consciously incompetent. Oh, it's going to be a bit of a journey. Wow. There's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts here, right? To being consciously competent, because you're in the act of doing, you feel clunky. You're not really doing it very right. You're not really sure how things are doing. That part where you're consciously competent is where you need to show up and ask questions, show up and try, show up and refine, and doing that over and over again. I did that for 10 years to become a psychologist, right? So that you lead into unconscious competence. This is the area of mastery. And in mastery level, learning doesn't end. Learning still continues, right? So that was like really going into plan A energy and recognizing I'm making a committed decision of what's next. And I'm going to go forward with this with a real level of understanding that I am learning a new skill. And I'm prepared to learn this new skill by investing at least the same time, money, energy, focus that I did to become a psychologist. I need to invest that in understanding business, right? When they talk about learning to become anything, that's one of the things that, you know, I think there's a quote out there, something like it takes 10 years and 10,000 hours, right, to develop mastery. Right? So give yourself space to have that learning journey and be on that journey and not expect like an instant. And not instant, I'm not even talking an instant meaning a week, a day, right? I know everything's moving so fast nowadays. People want instant gratification even more and more and more, right? But like I shared, you know, it was 3.5 years before I made my first 6 figures in total, right? So literally there was a level of learning that had to happen, and I had to appreciate the level of learning in that. So those would be the things. So number 1, plan A energy. Number 2, I had to embrace learning, and I still embrace learning. Business and marketing and sales is always moving. It's always expanding. And so I'm around learners always, right? I think it's important to recognize that we can self-sabotage by lack of knowledge, right? Not because the knowledge isn't there, right? But because there's a tendency of, I know this, or how hard can it be, or I haven't got this yet, right? And so really like allowing yourself to encompass that knowledge that is going to help you is very, very important. Yeah. Number 3, right? I focused on impact over income. I focus on impact over income, right? Yeah. Now I want to pause here because I know many practitioners can do this, right? We focus on impact over income, right? And so we prioritize the value that we're giving to others. But what I find and what I see is that there's a lot of practitioners that have just this, they recognize they have a gift to help, right? To heal, to help others. And they're nervous about having a financial exchange over that, right? What I'm saying here is like, put yourself in a position where you give so much value, right? You give so much value, right? That the value exceeds the price, right? So much value that the value exceeds the price. What happens when you give so much value that the value exceeds the price, right? The price tag, sales will naturally follow, right? And I share this because I see people, they jump into business and they just like, well, what could I sell? Like, what could I sell? Like, I just want to make some money, right? I just want to sell like, what can I put my package at? I want to make some money. And when we look at like, where's the value? Like, can we build up your value level of how much value you're putting out there? And yes, have something that some people can purchase, right? But let's not just obsess over the money that you forget obsessing over the people, right? So you want to be obsessed over the people in terms of being findable, of value that you're giving out, right? Of ensuring that you're investing in more people knowing the value that you are giving out so that it starts to take place. Yeah. The change starts to happen. There'll be a pivot, right? You'll be tested in your patience to the pivot, right? So, like really like recognizing that. Yeah. So focus on impact, right? Focus on impact. Recognize that the income will follow. If you have an offer that helps people, right? There is no reason that people shouldn't be in your offer unless you haven't mastered the ability to accumulate an audience that understands what you do and you share value with them and they understand that the value that you are giving, it puts you in perfect place for you to help them with the solution that they need help with, right? That's all it comes down to. Yeah. Number 4, one of the things that absolutely took place on my journey, right, was I made God CEO. God became CEO. He wasn't at the start. I've always believed in God, right? Growing up in a Christian household, always there. But at the beginning of my journey, he wasn't there as the relationship I had with him, right? Wasn't as the relationship I have with him today. Yeah. I was talking to my son, my eldest son is 5 the other day, and he was acting out what mummy, how mummy's day goes. And he was like, I'm gonna show you how mummy's day goes. And then the first thing he said was like, hey Google, play My God's an Awesome God. That was like his acting out of me, right? And he went on to say other things, but that was the first thing. And I really have to say, right, and I can't skip this, like everybody's perspective here in this roundtable or who listens to this is going to maybe have a different relationship or different beliefs, right? And that's okay, right? I totally respect your perspectives. But what for me had to happen was he became front and center of everything. Everything I did, everything I do, everything I've done. It's for him, right? And so that really became such a guiding force. It made the ability to make decisions easier, right? Especially decisions around like learning and investing, right? And, you know, like there was some scary investments I've made along the way in terms of time, even not even just I'm talking money, like time, focus, education, like all of these things. It was scary. And there's no way I could be where I am today. I really don't believe without the point number 4, right? Make God my CEO. Yeah, absolutely. Right. You know, and they became, you know, like, doctors, you know, your comment here, right, is that I love that, because that is one of the things that had to happen. I found joy in all things, even in the challenges, right? You know, and really like, because the challenges is building me muscle, right? You know, like when you are, let's say you want to be fitter and you don't really go to the gym and you decide you're going to exercise to get fitter, you're going to have aches and pains a little bit as you get started, right? But you want to have joy in it because of the development, the growth and what's happening, and you want to be able to see the end. So that definitely happened. Number 5, because I do want to have a discussion about this. I want to hear what comes up for you, the most impactful points for you. I would really want to hear from you afterwards as well, right? So number 5 was I had to master marketing. I had to really understand and not be afraid of marketing, right? And understand that marketing is literally about being findable and building relationships, but that there's an art and there's a science around it, right? And really, I had to study it and study it and study it. All marketing is around marketing, and sales is around pretty much behavior change, is what I started to realize. It's just everything that I've studied, you know, but it's understanding it in a different way, right? And so, and that landscape is always moving. It's moved recently, even more so, right? On Friday in our business call with our clients, I'm going to be upgrading the training that they have, because there's been a certain shift in marketing, right? For them to understand that shift so that they can implement it in their business, right? It's always shifting, but I had to recognize and understand the principles of it, have a beginner's mindset around it, be not scared about it, and be okay to understand and learn and commit to learning. I had to decide to be findable and to do it scared, and to do it not really knowing what I'm really doing, but to ask questions to the guides that I've invested in, to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What have I missed? How could I optimize this? How can I improve my skill set around this? Right? And that's how I got better and better and better. How I could take earning 6 figures over 3.5 years to earning 6 figures in 1 year. Right? And again, doing it year, right? And we continue to do that to date. Yeah, that was number 5. Number 6, I had to understand about sales. I had to stop being scared of selling, of not even knowing what sales even meant, right? I had to recognize and shift my perspective that actually it's okay to sell, because what I'm selling is a valuable resource. It's actually helping people in their lives. That actually, when the perceived value is greater than the price, right? People are looking for places to put their money to help them. They're not putting their money anywhere because it helps you, right? Nobody's just going to go around giving you money just because you want money, right? People will give you money if you can give them value, right? What they care about, what they need, what they want help with in their life, how they want to build their life. And if they see that something's able to help and support them, they will invest in it, right? The only reason I invested in my psychological education to become a psychologist is not because the university wanted me, right? It was because of my own beliefs of what becoming a psychologist could do for me. At the age of 13, I decided I wanted to be a psychologist. So obviously, I've got to do what it takes to become a psychologist, which requires studying for 10 years, investing in it, right? Doing the work, showing up, doing the exams, doing the late nights, doing the early mornings, right? Doing the work alongside it to get the result. It's the same for business, right? So I had to really lean into and understand that. I understand that sales is also about messaging. It's about language, right? It's about understanding. I see so many practitioners set their services up and they're just talking their own psychobabble that we've learned in academia. We're using words that don't even connect with people, right? Rather than using the words that connect with the people. Yeah, so there was a level of mastery that had to take place there. Number 7, I had to start seeing what is there as opposed to what's not there, right? And say that again, I had to start seeing what is there as opposed to what's not there. How many times have you found yourself, right? And this was definitely me in the beginning of what's not there. Oh, the clients are not there. The money's not there. The followers are not there. The calls are not there. I don't understand. Will I ever understand? Oh my God, right? Not there, not there. I'm so distracted by what's not there. I couldn't even see what is there. There's people everywhere. The problem that you want to help people with, there's people that have the problem. They're actually there. There's so many people in this whole world, right? There are people everywhere. And you want to help. You don't even want to help everybody. I hope not, right? Yeah. You won't be able to, just you one, right? And so but if you see that they are there as opposed to they're not there, it will make a profound difference. How you show up differently. If you actually woke up and thought, there's actually people out there today that need my help. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to extend an offer to them that I can help them. And actually, in exchange for me helping them, they're going to give me some money because I have a service, right? And so it's about really seeing what is there. And that's in all things. How many times do I hear people, they go through their financial reality, right? Of their, even if they've got one, right? But a document that says these are the bills that I have. And it's water bill, yeah. This bill, yeah. Right? As opposed to an attitude of gratitude, right? Of oh, I'm so glad I get a water bill, right? I love having a shower. It's amazing, right? X amount, right? So opening your eyes to what's there, opening your eyes to with appreciation, gratitude in all things, right? Really shifted the needle. Yeah. Making decisions, number 8, making the decisions that were in alignment with where I'm going. Huge. Making decisions in alignment with where I'm going, right? Do I invest in the education that's going to support me to where I'm going versus do I invest in the holiday that's going to make me feel good for a week, right? Do I make decisions that are in alignment with where I'm going? Yeah. I remember in the beginning of my business, always people calling me for help. Tilean, help me this, life's this, I was just one of those people, right? Oh, there's this gathering today. Can you come? Or, we're all meeting up on Friday night. Would you want to come? We're all meeting. Do you want to do a lunch? Do you want to do this, right? Even my mom, being oh, Tilean, you're not at work anymore. Should we just go shopping on a Tuesday afternoon? And I had to really start making decisions that were in alignment with where I'm going. No, mummy, I can't go to shopping on Tuesday afternoon because I'm working on my business. How about we go shopping on Saturday morning instead? Right? Actually, I'm not going to have a conversation with every single person every single night, right? And throughout the day, and just not have a set schedule with plan A energy because I'm respecting the business that I'm creating, right? So these are decisions that I needed to make, right? I dialed down the amount I even watch TV, because was it contributed to where I'm going? And so I would increase actually my viewing time. Instead of being on viewing time, that's something that wasn't actually filling me up with where I'm going, I would view something that's filled me up with where I'm going, right? I started to, so that was number 8. Number 9, embracing wealth as positive. I don't know how, it came to me, right? Yeah, maybe subtleties of life, which often happens. But there was a kind of feeling within me that making money is not good, right? That making money is not good. I don't recall hearing, like growing up hearing people say making money is a bad thing, right? So it was unconsciously there. But there was things that you kind of pick up on, right? And you interpret, and you actually start to recognize that actually my own mindset and belief and perspectives about money, about wealth, are holding me back from even obtaining the wealth that I actually want. And so I had to rewrite, right? Reprogram myself to understanding that wealth is not bad in God's eyes, or anything, right? You know what I mean? Right? But really start to see wealth as a means to make positive impact. Yeah. A means to like glorify, right, what I'm doing and the impact and the gift that he has given me. Right? So I had to shift my perspective on that. And then number 10, I had to maintain focus, right? And overcome challenges. I had to really maintain focus. When a challenge presented itself, I had to recognize that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? I had to recognize and focus on the goal, on where I'm going, and recognize that the challenges may come up I can build through them, I can shake through them, I can get through them, I can go through them, right? And that's why I talked about Psalm 23 and what that done for me and does for me, right? I had to recognize that and rise up, create and cultivate resilience, maintain positive attitude, right? Okay. And those are what I would say would be the 10 things that really helped me as I shifted forward from being in a space where I was struggling, confused, and didn't know where to go, right? Or how to do this, to being in a space where I run a 6-figure annual coaching business with 48% profit margin, right? Whilst being soul aligned, right? Having my faith first, right? And being the mom that I always wanted to dream, right? Yeah.